once was a kid, all I had was a dream. More money, more problems. When I get it, I'ma pile it up. Now I'm
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Netfish and Chill TV. Today I'm going to be going over some rigs. I've been getting a lot of requests about this on Instagram, on YouTube. A couple people on Facebook have been messaging me and asking me some of the rigs I use and to do a how-to video. So today I'm going to be doing how-to Texas rig, a worm, or any other creature bait. So today I have my two favorite worms, my favorite worm and my favorite creature bait to use with a Texas rig, and my favorite worm is the Green Pumpkin Zoom Finesse worm. And this is in black and red flake, and this worm is hands down the best worm that I have in my arsenal. I have 3 bags of these at my house. I keep these in huge stock, and for good reason. The reason why I keep these in such good stock is I've caught my personal best bass and some of my runner-ups on this worm. This worm, like I said, is a Zoom Finesse worm, and it really does just have some really great finesse action. You lift it up and you let it fall down. It's just a really wiggly worm, and it's got some great finesse to it. So that's one, and my favorite creature bait, hands down, is the Gambler Ugly Otter. The fish love it. The color for this is Hurricane Crawl, and I like it because it's got that kind of green pumpkin color on the front. It's got a bright orange stomach on it, so you know, it's good for darker waters. You know, you got the green pumpkin to match the hatch. And like I said, it's Hurricane Crawl, so if you fish a place where there's a lot of crawls in the area, you know, this can really match the crawls, because the crawls around my area actually are like this. They got the dark greenish brown kind of color on the top and the kind of the burnt orange stomach. Another thing about this that's nice is these two kind of represent like claws, even though to the well-trained eye you'd say that looks absolutely nothing like a claw. But to fish, you know, if the water visibility is not that good, they're not going to be able to tell the difference. And this right here, this flapper, displaces a lot of water. It makes a lot of noise. Like when I'm reeling this in, it is just obnoxious bait for a soft plastic. You know, usually like a tail slapper or something like that. You know, hard bait's going to be obnoxious, or a buzz bait. This is a pretty loud bait for a soft plastic. So I really like that for multiple reasons. So let's get started. Alrighty guys, so here's what you're going to need to start off. You're going to need obviously your baits right here, your hooks, and your bullet weight. This is probably the thing that makes the Texas rig the most unique, is the bullet weight above the bait itself. And you could use a bobber stop, which I'm not personally a big fan of, and Andrew Flair does a video about the bobber stop, when to use it, when not to use it, and his personal opinion about the bobber stop. I'm personally not a big fan. I feel like it gets you stuck in a lot more situations than just using this, because this can cut through some serious brush or vegetation. And finally, you're going to need some nail clippers to help you clip your line when you're done tying. So let me get the line out and we'll get started. So now I have my line. This is Suffix Elite monofilament high vis yellow. This is 10-pound test, and you're first going to start off by tying on your hook. Now this is a VMC fast grip wide gap hook. I believe it's either a 3/0 or a 4/0. I'm not entirely sure. I want to say it's a 3/0, but don't take my word for it. And with Texas rigs, you're going to want to use any wide gap hook, so an offset wide gap hook. So as you can see, the part where you tie on is not right on the hook. As you can see, it offsets. That's the most important part of a Texas rig that makes a Texas rig unique. So you're going to want to go ahead and feed the line through the hole, and then you're going to want to tie your desired knot, whatever that may be. Alright, so now I have my knot tied on. I'm sorry, I forget the name of the knot that I just tied, and I also not very good at it. I'm still working. Now, as you can see, you have some extra line here. You're just going to want to take your nail clippers and clip it as close to the knot as possible, but enough for you to pull on in case you have to tighten your knot up a little bit. So, right there, seems like a good spot. There. So there you go. Now you're all tied up. You have your knot. So now you're going to want to add your bait. So I'm going to use my Zoom Finesse Worm. And here is what makes a Texas rig. First, you're going to want to start off, and you're going to want to put your hook directly at the top of your bait. As you can see, this is the top. It's going to be the shorter part before the midsection right here. So I'm going to feed it through just like that until it starts to curve. Then I'm going to pull it out like so. So there you go. Then you're just going to want to feed it all the way to the top where your line meets your hook, right there, until it's like that. Alright. Then you're going to want to feed the worm back into the hook, like so that it's like that. Then you're going to want to push the worm back, and this is where it helps to have these VMC fast grips, because it has a little extra barbs to hold your hook, your worm in place. Then what I like to do is I like to tuck the top into the hook, like so that it is weedless. That's what makes a Texas rig. It is a weedless rig. You may be wondering, well, if you have it tucked back in, how are the fish going to hook themselves? The nice thing is when the fish hook themselves and they bite the worm, they're going to press the worm down when they bite, and when you set the hook, look at that, you have an exposed hook. The other thing that makes the Texas rig really unique is the bullet weight on top, which you should actually put this on the line before you tie it on, but thankfully mine is just line that I cut off. So you're going to feed it through the hole in the bottom, and then you're just going to feed it through the bullet weight until it rests on top of your bait, and that's what's going to push through the weeds. So basically you have a double weed guard. You have the hook covered by the worm, and you have the weight. So the weight's going to push through, and the reason why it's shaped like a bullet is that basically it can just shoot right through like a bullet would. So there you go, guys. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's a little bit better of a knot. I just didn't twirl it enough. That's a little bit better representation of what it's supposed to look like. That other one was pretty sloppy. And this is a Gamakatsu offset wide gap hook. And I'm just going to show you again how you're going to put your bait on. So this is the Ugly Otter. So, like I said, you're going to want to feed it through the hook until it meets that gap. And then you're going to pull it through. I try to put it in the middle. It doesn't really matter. And then you just push it up to the top to where it's offset. Like I said, you're going to want to punch the hook back through until it pierces the skin of your bait, and then you're just going to want to tuck it back in just a little bit, like so, and voila, you have two Texas rig baits. You have your creature bait, and you have your Texas rigged worm. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys have any other questions or comments about this video, please feel free to leave them in the comment box below. If you guys like this kind of video, I'm going to be doing a couple more. I'm probably going to be doing how to drop shot, and a couple other useful rigs. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time on the next episode of Net Fish and Chill TV. See ya.